Well, do you have any questions? I mean, we could tell you a little bit about things we're working on, but if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, we'd be happy to hear them since it's a small group right now, so it's a one-on-one. So go ahead and we'll.
I don't have any questions. I just came in to learn something.
Sure. Well,
see what you guys up to.
So what do so you're at the VA? You just do you subspecialize, or you just do everything that comes in the door, or?
Everything that comes in the door. I'm the lab director also, so
Okay.
I take care of clinical lab also.
Okay, very good. Well, so one of the things that we're doing is, well, one of the big things we're doing is due to the. So are you affected by the pandemic? Let me ask you that. Is it affected your hospital or not so much? Or?
Yes, it did. We didn't have a big surge. It's a small town.
Right.
So we had about 35 to 36 patients in the VA system. We treat only veterans, so
right.
Numbers are specifically veterans.
Okay. So one of the reasons that we had this is that, you know, we used to go to conferences, the big pathology conferences, and we like to get feedback, you know, to hear what people are doing and things that we can improve on the website. And so we want to have another opportunity. You could theoretically, people will email us, but usually they don't. So this way, when we talk to people, sometimes not at first, but eventually they'll mention something, and then they can pick up on it. And that's how we actually get a lot of the good ideas to improve the website. That's really because, you know, there's going to be, well, so let me ask you, I just got an email from ASCP. Do you normally go to any of the pathology conferences, Dr. Razum?
Yes, I do. I go about once a year to one national conference, either ASCP or CAP. USCAP is a little bit more research oriented, so right. I don't go to that one.
So do you think you're going to go to ASCP or CAP this year, or?
Not this year, of course.
Well, I mean, not going, but will you participate? Do you think they're virtual? I'm just curious.
Not at this point, but anything virtual is a good option for me to attend. I've been attending actually Dermpedia courses. The guy, Dr. Arthur Z or Zambowitz,
right. Yeah,
from Boston.
And you've been going to the actual sessions or the virtual sessions?
Virtual sessions.
So tell me what you like about this, because we're trying to think, you know, what can we do? We're trying to get ideas on things that people like. So you're paying money for that, right?
No.
Oh, they're free? Okay.
They are free, and Dr. Z basically picks up some cases. So it's usually a 15-20 minute session where he would show some interesting cases. And in addition to that, he did an hour-long session with he did 2 sessions for melanocytic lesions, especially nevus, because WHO criteria has changed.
Right.
So he invited Dr. Elder.
Oh, okay.
And another famous dermpath from Australia. So those were actually very nice sessions. He showed borderline lesions, and it was on the spot discussion with an expert. So,
okay, and are those, and welcome to is it Dr. Vera? I see you, who's muted right now, but there's another participant. But so these sessions, were they live sessions that Dr. Z?
Yes, live sessions.
Yeah. Okay. So we're trying to think of what we can, you know, what we can do ourselves. So maybe, because we have an editorial board too now, they're not as famous as Dr. Z or Dr. Elder, but they could also give talks on particular subjects, but probably shorter is better. Now, let me ask you, do you think live is better than taped?
I mean, yes, it is. Yes, it is, because you do get a lot of questions in interactive media.
So people are asking questions along the way?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's true. We can you could tape the session afterwards, I guess, but if people want to hear so that they can get their question answered. All right, that's a good idea. All right, so that maybe that's something that we'll do, is to try to have some short sessions and schedule it at certain times, and let people know.
And if you want to, basically you can attend his lecture. He does like every day now.
Oh, really? Every day?
Yeah.
He has just like a certain time and you sign in?
Yep, it's 3 o'clock Eastern time, and it's a Zoom meeting.
Okay. And how many people are in the meeting, or you don't really know?
I don't know. The Zoom does not let us know how many people are there.
Yeah, I think the hosts we can know, but
Yeah.
but the participants you may not know. Okay. All right. Well, that's something. Maybe that's something that we'll do, is to have some sessions. And well, we're not going to do every day, but maybe once a month we'll have somebody speak about something. Like a GU person talk about what's new in GU. It doesn't have to be long. It could be maybe 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, and people could tune in, and then we could also tape it. If you missed it, at least you couldn't ask questions, but at least you could tape it.
That'd be very helpful, Dr. Knapp.
Okay. All right. So maybe we will we'll put out a little survey about what people want to hear about. So one of the things that we're doing on the website is, when I started this, it's going to be 19 years ago. I tried to write about everything, and I wasn't an expert, but I figured, and then eventually we got other people, but we included a lot of obscure stuff and rare stuff. So every lymphoma at every site, even in the appendix, and probably diffuse large B-cell lymphoma of the appendix is not that different from other spots, but we had a separate topic. So the problem is now we have people writing on it, and they're experts, and they're writing 1,000 words on it. But some of these, there's really no point to it. And we only have so much staff time. So we're trying to focus on the main things. So you can see that we're cutting back on some topics that are really pretty obscure, or there's really no reason for them. And we're trying to make sure that the common ones are being written about. So I'm just trying to think what we've got that was just updated. I don't know if you know, but if you go on our homepage, near the top on the right-hand side, it says recently updated. So we've got simple bone cyst, microglandular adenosis of the breast, squamous papilloma of the esophagus, mixed epithelial and stromal tumor of the kidney, and amyloidosis of the lung. Those are the ones that were updated really in the past couple of days. And then we change this every once or twice a week, depending on how much stuff we get. So now how do you search on our website from the homepage, or do you use your search engine, or?
From your homepage, we do a lot of, thank you so much for this service. We use pathology outlines a lot, and everybody does that. So it's a good resource for getting information, and we teach residents also, so they also access your website a lot.
Okay, and do you ever use it from mobile? Have you ever done that?
Not mobile.
Okay, I'm just, yeah, so we have a different homepage on mobile, and it's got a drop-down menu. And what we've thought is that maybe on our homepage, you gotta get that?
Can you hold on a second? I need to do something.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, we have somebody listening in, Dr. Vera. If you want, you're welcome to email to, I think you can hit is there a chat button, Dennis, that people at the bottom?
Yeah, at the bottom of the screen, there's a chat button. You can send in chats if you want.
So you could send in a text if you have a question or a comment, or you can unmute and just talk in. Or are we muting Dr. Vera, or is she just muted herself?
I believe she muted herself.
Okay, well, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. But if you have a comment, if you want to listen in, that's fine too. So that's one of the things that we're doing now, is we're kind of trimming the topics, and then we're not trying to limit the website. We're trying to focus on things that pathologists want the most, because what we found is, so somebody, for example, they want to write about a very rare tumor, which is okay, except that we have some topics where 20,000 people visit the website every year. And so that's really important. We want to make sure that that's up to date. And we've now got a staff of 15 people. We're expanding, but it's still slow. And they can only work on so much stuff at once. And they're not all working on the textbook. Some people, like Dennis, is working on sales because we have to pay everybody. And Rosie works on administration. And, we have other people who work on other stuff. So, so those are some of the things. All right, so that may be something that we'll do is we can give little talks and see what people are interested in. Now, one of the things that we've gotten recently is in the US, I think boards are coming up. And so we have just so you know, we have a board review question section. And if you go on our homepage at the top, it says board review. And we've basically every topic now that's written has one or two we call them board review style questions. They're not actually from the boards, as far as we know. I mean, we don't, that would be violating their rules, but they're in the same style. And so it's good for just reviewing things. And if people read them, and sometimes they found little typos. So if you have a comment, you think something is wrong, just send it. You can click on the comment button. It's on each page. It's in the header. It's in the footer. And just tell us what your comment is, and then we'll take a look at it. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're not right. But we will read it and get back to you. So that's something that helps the website. And if you're if you have a question on something, that helps, and it helps everyone else. Now, just so you know, one of the things. We can't answer, I think most of you know, but we can't answer personal questions. I mean, if it's a question about using the website, we can do that. But every once in a while, we get patients who call in, and of course we can't, here's my x-ray, tell me what it means, and we can't do that. But we also get pathologists who call in, can you help me with a research project? And so I can't do that. Now, if you want to write to one of the authors and they want to help you, that's up to them. But we can't answer, all we can do is help you use the website. If there's a problem with it, we can try to fix it.
Well, because Dr. Pernick, because of this virtual thing, you can actually invite experts from distant locations.
Right.
Just coordinate that, and that I think should help a lot.
Well, that's a good idea because one of the problems with conferences, I mean, I like going to the conferences, but they're kind of limited because a lot of people, they can't go to the conference, right?
Yeah.
They can't get the time off, or it's too expensive, or whatever, and or they can't get the time off because they're too busy, or their group's too busy. But with virtual, you're right, we can get experts anywhere. And it's much easier for everyone to actually do it. I suppose we could have done this years ago, but people just weren't comfortable. Now everyone's pretty familiar with Zoom. So so that's a good idea too, is we can try to get experts to speak and give a 15 to 30 minute talk, which most people could fit in, and they could talk about something. And it could be something they just gave a talk on, but so it's not a lot of work for them. Okay, that's a great idea. All right, we'll check into that. One of the things we like to tell people about is just some features of the website that people don't necessarily know about. One is we list a lot of references, and some of them, the references are in green and some are in blue. And the green means that they're free full text. So I don't know, at the VA, can you access all the articles? Does your library let you access? Do they have free access to all the journals, or only some of them?
Some of them, not all of them.
So the ones in green, when we put in the reference, it turned out you can read the whole article for free. And we try to encourage our authors to use those. Now the blue ones, somebody has to have a subscription, the library or you. So, and we like to highlight that because that's what our website is, right? It's free, full text. every once in a while people ask us about this, so I just like to reiterate, it's a free site. As long as I'm the owner, which I think is going to be for many years, it's going to be a free site. I do not have any interest in adding registration, certainly not any fee or even registration. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do other sites require registration? And just so you know, we have a lot of advertisers. The advertisers want registration because they want your email, they want to contact you. They push really hard for this. Every day we get an advertiser as well. We want to know who's viewing your website. So we say, well, as far as we can tell, almost every pathologist in the English-speaking world is viewing our website. It's hard for us to find a pathologist when we ask at the conferences who is not using it. It's not like we're bragging. It's a big responsibility. We have to keep the website as good as we can make it. But they really push hard. So that's why we're kind of unique, is because when I started this website, we had no money for the first several years. And we probably would have kept doing, well, the problem of course is that we can't expand because like I said, we've got 15 people. We've now got 200 people writing for us. We've got 21 members of our editorial board. We don't necessarily pay them all a lot, but it all adds up and we have to staff them. And we have a very big IT budget. We have different IT people who are helping us, different consultants who figure out a way to make things happen. So, so that's why we have to charge. But we tell the advertisers, which they do not like. We say, well, we want you to advertise, but the pathologists are more important than you. So I think the pathologists like this, but the advertisers don't. And the advertisers ask you to do something, and a lot of times we just say we're not going to do that. So, so that's my philosophy. And I also like to tell you that. So if there's something that you think we could do, let us know. And if your friends have a suggestion, now sometimes we can't do it right away, but we've had some ideas that people, we thought, well, I don't know how we would do that. It's a good idea. And sometimes it takes a year or two before we figure out how technically we can do it. One of the things we've got on our website is called a Superpage. I don't know if you've heard of that, but so each chapter is has a table of contents, and most of them are set up. The first part is topical, like a textbook. It starts off with normal, and then it's got infections and pre-malignant, and then carcinoma, and then it says Superpages, and then it's got all of the topics in alphabetical order. So the Superpages, that comes from an idea. Somebody said, well, I'd like to see everything on one page so I could do a search. Like if it's esophagus, I want to know everywhere in esophagus where the word eosinophils comes up, because I've got some eosinophils and they could do a search otherwise, but this is the easiest way. So the Superpage, what it does is it goes through every topic in esophagus, and that's like basically a cut and paste, and puts it all together one after another. Well, that was somebody's idea, and they mentioned it, and I thought, well, I don't know how we would do that. And we had several people come up with it. So we talked to our IT people, and eventually we figured it out. So, so if you do have any ideas, your friends have any ideas, send me an email and we will read it. I will read it. You can send it to our comments, or you can send it nat@pathologyoutlines.com. That'll work too. Any other comments, Dr. Azam or Dr. Vera? If you want, you can, if you think of something afterwards, comments or suggestions. Now, the other thing that we've done is we've started a video every week or every couple of weeks, what's new at Pathology Outlines. It's on our YouTube page, and we do that because we want a chance to explain to people some of the things that are going on. We'll try to put it in our blog, but sometimes it's easier if we put it in a video and we can show. Dennis has helped. We'll put some screenshots of different features so you can see it and you can learn, because the website because of all these suggestions, it's gotten pretty complicated, and everyone doesn't necessarily know what's going on. Okay, so this is the YouTube channel. Yeah, Dr. Osmond, this is something new. We have What's New in Pathology Outlines, like 5 to 10 minutes every, maybe a couple weeks a month, a short video that I summarize some of the new features. One of the other things that we're working on is if you go to, so this is some people don't know we have a textbook, but if you scroll down, you can see these textbook chapters. We now have 66. One of the things we just did is we merged the breast, non-malignant, and malignant. We have to get rid of the malignant. And if you look at it, you could see, and I'm scrolling, that we have, this is the breast non-malignant at the beginning, and then all the malignant. And then I think it's a little easier. Some of the things are kind of mixed in, like grossing. We had that, I'm not sure if we had that in non-malignant or malignant. It can kind of go in with both. WHO classification, and so on. One of the things you've also may notice, you can't see it so much on this one, but if we go to bone marrow, is we have a more uniform style with sections which are in the big ones and subsections which are in the italics, trying to make this more uniform so that people can follow it. And then one of the other things, some of you might have noticed, we move stuff around. So the bone marrow stuff we moved around. And when you clicked on these topics, sometimes the chapter name was not actually right. But now we've got a new database. And as we move stuff into the new database, it all matches. So this all matches. The name of the chapter is bone marrow neoplastic. This is a section, subsection. And then this is what we call the topic name. And also something people don't always know, this is what's called a thumbnail. So it sort of tells you where you are. So you were at the home page, then you were on this chapter page, now you're on this topic page. And if you click here, you'll go back to the home page, or this little house is also the home page, or you can click on here and this will take you back to bone marrow neoplastic. So, so this is a heme path chapter. It tells you other heme path chapters. If you want to go, if you said, gee, I really want a heme path and you want to look for heme path jobs, you can click on this and it will take you to, this is the jobs page. We have all the subspecialties here, but if you click on heme path, which this kind of did automatically, these are all the heme path jobs here. One of the things that's kind of new, we used to have a map. Where did it go? Here's the map. So I like this. I don't know if anybody else likes it, but so this is like for all the subspecialties where the jobs are. So we've got a number. I wanted to make the number bigger but so far nobody can figure out how to do that, but at least you could see. And if you said, well, gee, that's for all subspecialties, where are the heme path jobs? So you click heme path and it tells you there's 324 jobs in the database. There's, it should tell us how many jobs here somewhere. Well, it tells you in each, this is just for the US, it tells you how many, and you can see where they are. So they seem to be, wherever this is. And you could just change this here. And if you want to just look in the regions, you can click there and it'll give you the total for each region. So we do try to, we are trying to, and some of these were, as I said, these were ideas that people came up with. So trying to think on the homepage, anything else that's different. This big ad, just so you know, we now have ads from the big three, CAP, ASCP, and USCAP. If you click this arrow button, it takes you to the next one. You don't have to wait for it to browse. We have here photos from different conferences. This is an image quiz. This is an email, an e-blast that we send out. It's just a different picture we change every week or so. And if you want to see, it's like a picture and a question. This is a little bit about us, and this is pictures of all the people that are on staff. We've actually got one more person who's new, but we have to get them on here. And then we have tags here. They're in the footer and the header. Again, this is all just to help you get around. If you want to sign up for one of our newsletters, put in your email here, and then click join, and it will give you a list of what all the possibilities are that you can sign up for, and then you could subscribe or unsubscribe to them. And again, we protect this list. I don't give this list to anybody. You know, as I said, we've had people ask and we just say no. So they don't like it, but that's the way it is. So,
Dr. Pernick, I got my job because of your website also. Just so you know.
Great. That's great. Well, we have, you know, the jobs, we have pretty comprehensive list of jobs. Right now we have 324. So you could see we've got 2 from today. And now the jobs have gone down this quarter. We do have a jobs report. I don't know if you know about, but at the very beginning in orange, we have a link to it. And these are jobs throughout the world, but most of them realistically are in the US and Canada. And if you click on the first quarter, we have a new database, so our numbers, it was preliminary, but we're going to finalize it. We finally finalized the database, but it will tell you how many compared to the year before and where they were for the first quarter and what qualifications and what subspecialties there were. So probably in a couple of weeks, we'll do the second quarter. And I think we can expect that there'll probably be a reduction because we've seen a marked reduction in the number of job ads. At one point we had up to 500 ads, but now I think so we're at 320. So we've also got, if you go back at the homepage, you know, we have a social media, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. So this goes to my LinkedIn page, and I'll try to post things that I think are, you know, a little more substantive. But if you like Facebook or Twitter, you can, we update that. Well, the person who does it isn't here. I think it's probably 2 to 3 times a week. And we also have a blog, which if you click on it, we update that probably 3-4 times a week. And we'll tell you about things like textbook updates. So which textbook topics have been updated. And then we'll give you a little summary of what the topic is about. And I know people like looking at pictures. So these are the pictures of the people who did the updates. And then you can, so if you want to sign up, you just enter your email address here and click follow. And I think we do like one, it's not that many updates. So you're not going to be deluged with things. We have a list, whoops, let's see here. It's, okay, did I get this out here? Okay, so we have a list of newsletters. Now, we have, our editorial board produces these newsletters, what's new in different subspecialties. So if you want to look up GI, you just click on it, it's free. You could print it out. At the conferences, sometimes we pass them out, but obviously we're not going to have conferences for a while. But this is written just for us and tells it by somebody on our editorial board. So it gives the highlights of things that are new. We've got a new one, What's New in DermPath, that we're working on editing. And so that should be coming out probably in August. But you can see all of the ones that we've got here, what the future ones are. Tell us a little bit about the different Eblasts that we have. If you know of some good pathology jokes, you know, we list them here and we'll try to circulate them. This is not a very humorous subspecialty, I guess. So, so I think those, and then here's again the comment button. We also have lists of books. Now we don't sell books, but what we try to do is get lists of all the different publishers of all the books that they've got, and we put them on our website. So in May, these are some of the new ones we found in May. Sometimes the books weren't necessarily all new, but people told us about them. Somebody said, well, these are all good books you should know. So, and then we'll list the basics. And if you could click on it to if you want to buy it, we'll link you either to the publisher or to Amazon. Obviously, you could buy it from wherever you want. But that's something that we do. And we've now got about 600 books. So we've got them by subspecialty, by publisher. Some of them are series. Now this is so the series from WHO or different series that we're aware of. We have a case of the month, and we're pushing 500 cases. Now we go through these cases, and some of the old ones we found we're not sure they're that good anymore, so we're removing them. But we list them without a diagnosis, with a diagnosis, by subspecialty, with and without a diagnosis. So if you said, gee, I really want to bone up on or get better on my GI, here's all the GI cases. And you just click on the link and it'll be, this is just the same case that you could get by email. We put this in maybe a year ago, what's your diagnosis? So you got to click here to get the rest of the case. That's just a little tweak, I guess, that some people liked. So we've got something new called libraries. We only have one, but what we found is that different companies, they have a lot of material that they want to disseminate to pathologists. But most of us, if we go to a conference, we don't really want to collect stuff. We don't want to collect paper. So they put it on this library page. So here they have their videos. And what they used to do is they'd say, well, come to our website, their own website, and you could try to find it. But their own websites are very difficult to navigate. Our website, we made it very easy. So this is a hot marker, PDL1, and they've got some videos. They're their own videos, but they're not really promotional. They're really just descriptive. How to use, what the marker is and how to use it for diagnosis by their pathologist experts. And so we've got some information on it. So if you want some information on that, now this is not part of the textbook. This is not peer reviewed by us, but this is their information, and usually it's pretty good. They have to they know that if they have to be objective and accurate, otherwise people aren't going to rely on them. So we've got Roche now, and we may have some other companies in the future. We do have online CME. Some of it is free, some of it you've got to pay from different organizations, USCAP, ARUP. We listed, again, different ways by subspecialty, by the expiration date. Most of the CME is only good for 2 years. So that's about it. We thought we would do this for at most 1 hour. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, we're happy to stay. But otherwise, thanks. And you can always email us any questions at any time. You can use the comment button. Then if you click on comment, you get a pop-up. If you want us to respond, we'll put your email here, put in the comment. And if it's a problem, we prefer you put in your email, because if you found a mistake, that way we could tell you. Or if we don't understand it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. We don't know who you are, so we're not going to track you down. So, well,
thank you, Dr. Bernick.
All right, thanks to you, and thank Dr. Vera, who's also listening in, and thanks for everyone else who's listening in.
And you're based in Ann Arbor?
No, we're based in Detroit suburbs, but it's near Ann Arbor. It's 45 minutes away. So
I did my residency at Henry Ford. That's why. Okay,
well, Henry Ford is a little closer. We're probably about 15 miles from Henry Ford Hospital. So.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you again.
Good seeing you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.